Have you ever caught yourself thinking, I just don't bounce back like I used to? Or perhaps you've noticed changes in your energy, your sleep, or your overall well-being that leave you wondering if this is simply what getting older is all about. I'm here today to share something that might surprise you. Many of the health challenges we attribute to just aging are actually the result of common mistakes we've been making for years, perhaps even decades. And the wonderful news is that once identified, these mistakes can often be corrected, leading to improvements you might not have thought possible at this stage of life. I want to share a story that really brings this home. My friend Margaret had always been vibrant and active throughout her 50s. But shortly after turning 63, she noticed a dramatic decline in her energy. Simple tasks left her winded, her joints ached constantly, and a persistent brain fog made even her favorite crossword puzzles seem impossible. This is just what getting older looks like, her friends told her. Her doctor ran basic tests, found nothing alarming, and suggested that, yes, this was indeed just part of aging. But Margaret refused to accept that answer. Through her own research and working with a specialist who actually listened, she discovered she was making several common mistakes that were dramatically accelerating her aging process. When she addressed these specific issues, the changes were nothing short of remarkable. Within months, she had reclaimed not just her energy, but her joy in daily living. At 68, she now often outpaces friends a decade younger. Today, I want to share with you the 6 most common mistakes that many of us make after 60. Mistakes that can quietly damage our health without us even realizing it. More importantly, I'll show you the straightforward fixes that can help you reclaim energy, clarity, and well-being that you might have thought was lost forever. Because the truth is, while we can't stop aging, we absolutely can change how we age. As we explore these together, I encourage you to consider which of these might be affecting your own health journey. How might your daily life transform if you identified and corrected even 1 or 2 of these common mistakes? What possibilities might open up for you in the years ahead? Let's discover these together. Mistake 1. Accepting chronic dehydration as normal. Let me ask you something. How many times have you felt tired, slightly headachy, or just off and reached for a cup of coffee to perk yourself up? If you're like most adults over 60, this pattern is probably quite familiar. But what many of us don't realize is that these very symptoms are often our body's way of telling us something much simpler. We need water, not caffeine. Here's what happens in our bodies as we age. Our thirst sensation naturally diminishes after 60. This biological change means you can actually be significantly dehydrated without ever feeling particularly thirsty. At the same time, certain medications common in our age group can increase fluid loss, creating a perfect storm for chronic dehydration. What makes this especially troubling is how dehydration affects us differently after 60. Even mild dehydration can impair cognitive function, decrease physical performance, contribute to constipation, and place additional strain on the heart. That senior moment you experienced might actually be your brain's response to inadequate hydration. Those aching joints. The lack of proper fluid makes joint lubrication less effective, and that feeling of fatigue that seems to hit every afternoon. Often, it's simply your cells crying out for water. Robert, a 72-year-old retired teacher I worked with, discovered this connection almost by accident. After years of feeling increasingly foggy and fatigued, his daughter challenged him to drink a full glass of water before each meal and 1 between meals for just 1 week. I was honestly skeptical, he told me, but by day 3 it was like someone had lifted a curtain. My thinking was clearer, my energy more consistent, and even my persistent shoulder pain had noticeably decreased. How might your daily experience change if you weren't constantly operating at a hydration deficit? What activities might become more enjoyable? What thinking challenges might become easier if your brain and body had the fluid they needed to function optimally? The solution is surprisingly simple, though it does require consistent attention. Rather than waiting until you feel thirsty, which might not happen until you're already significantly dehydrated, create a schedule for hydration. Consider keeping a water bottle with time markers that remind you to drink throughout the day. Many find that setting a gentle alarm on their phone helps establish this vital habit. For those who find plain water unappealing, infusing water with fresh fruit, cucumber, or herbs can make hydration more enjoyable. And remember that water-rich foods like melons, oranges, and many vegetables contribute to your overall hydration as well. What's your current water intake like? Could increasing your hydration be the simple solution to issues you've been attributing to just getting older? Mistake 2. Overlooking the connection between gut health and overall well-being. Have digestive issues like occasional bloating, gas, or irregularity become your new normal? Do you find yourself reaching for antacids more frequently than you used to? Many of us accept these changes as inevitable aspects of aging. But what if I told you that many of these symptoms actually signal an imbalance that affects far more than just your digestive comfort? The truth is, after 60, our gut undergoes significant changes. The diversity of beneficial bacteria naturally decreases, stomach acid often diminishes, and the gut lining may become more permeable. These changes don't just affect digestion. They can impact everything from your immune function and energy levels to your mood and cognitive clarity. What many don't realize is that approximately 70% of your immune system resides in your gut. When gut health declines, immune function often follows. Additionally, many of the neurotransmitters that regulate mood, including serotonin, are produced in the gut. This explains why gut imbalances often coincide with changes in mood or mental clarity. Eleanor, a vibrant 67-year-old artist, had been experiencing increasing brain fog and unexplained anxiety that seemed to come out of nowhere. "I never connected it to the digestive issues I was having," she explained. "I just thought my body and mind were wearing out." When she began focusing on rebuilding her gut health, not only did her digestive symptoms improve, but her thinking clarified and her unexplained anxiety virtually disappeared. How might your experiences of aging shift if your gut was functioning optimally? What aspects of your health that you've been attributing to age might actually be connected to gut imbalance? The solution begins with awareness of what harms gut health and what helps restore it. Processed foods, excessive sugar, certain medications, and chronic stress can all disrupt the delicate balance of your gut microbiome. Conversely, fiber-rich vegetables, fermented foods like yogurt or sauerkraut, adequate hydration, and stress management techniques can help restore balance. Many find that simply adding a small portion of fermented food daily and gradually increasing fiber intake creates noticeable improvements within weeks. For those with more significant imbalances, a healthcare provider who understands the gut health connection can recommend targeted supplements or probiotics that support restoration. What small change could you make to your diet this week to better support your gut health? How might addressing this often overlooked system create ripple effects throughout your overall well-being? As we reflect on these first two common mistakes, consider how they might be influencing your own experience of aging. The symptoms we so often attribute to just getting older, the fatigue, the brain fog, the digestive changes, the aches and pains, might actually be signals that something specific needs attention. And when we address these underlying issues, the improvements can be both significant and surprisingly rapid. When we understand that many health challenges aren't simply inevitable parts of aging, but rather the result of patterns we can change, it opens up remarkable possibilities. As we continue exploring these common mistakes, you might recognize patterns in your own life, patterns that once adjusted could dramatically improve how you feel each day. Let's explore two more critical mistakes that many of us make after 60 without realizing their profound impact on our health and vitality. Mistake 3. Mismanaging medications and supplements. Do you have a clear system for managing your medications and supplements, or has it evolved somewhat haphazardly over time? For many of us over 60, our medicine cabinets tell a story of gradual accumulation. a prescription added here, an over-the-counter remedy there, vitamins and supplements recommended by friends or health articles. Before we know it, we're taking a complex array of substances without fully understanding how they interact. This common situation creates what healthcare providers call polypharmacy, the use of multiple medications that can interact in ways neither you nor sometimes even your individual doctors fully anticipate. After 60, our bodies process medications differently. Our liver and kidneys, which are responsible for metabolizing and clearing medications from our system, often work less efficiently. This means drugs stay in our system longer and may build up to higher levels than intended. These interactions can create a cascade of symptoms that are frequently misinterpreted as new health problems rather than medication effects. Dizziness, confusion, fatigue, muscle weakness, and even depression might actually be the result of how your medications interact, rather than new conditions requiring additional treatment. Thomas, a 74-year-old retired accountant, had gradually accumulated prescriptions from his primary doctor, cardiologist, and rheumatologist, plus several supplements recommended by friends. When he began experiencing increasing dizziness and confusion, his first thought was early dementia. "I was terrified," he told me. "I started forgetting things and sometimes felt so dizzy I was afraid to drive." A comprehensive medication review revealed several significant interactions. Adjusting his medication schedule and eliminating 2 unnecessary supplements resolved his symptoms completely within weeks. How confident are you in your understanding of everything you're taking? Do you know which supplements might interact with your prescriptions? Have you had a comprehensive medication review in the past year? The solution starts with creating a complete list of everything you take: prescription medications, over-the-counter drugs, supplements, vitamins, and herbal remedies. Include the dosages and timing of each. Take this list to your pharmacist, who often has more specialized knowledge about drug interactions than physicians, and request a comprehensive review. Many pharmacies offer this service for free. Consider using a pill organizer with multiple daily compartments to ensure you're taking medications at the optimal times. Some medications work better when taken together, others should be separated by several hours. Digital reminder apps can also help maintain the ideal schedule for complex regimens. Most importantly, before adding any new supplement or over-the-counter remedy, check with your pharmacist about potential interactions with your current medications. What seems like a harmless addition might significantly impact how your prescriptions work in your body. What single step could you take this week to better manage your medications and supplements? How might greater clarity in this area improve your daily well-being? Mistake 4. Inadequate protein intake. Do you find yourself eating less meat than you used to? Perhaps you've noticed your appetite isn't what it once was, or you've simplified your cooking now that you might be cooking for fewer people. While these changes might seem natural and inconsequential, they often lead to one of the most common and impactful nutritional mistakes after 60, not consuming enough protein. Here's what happens in our bodies as we age. Beginning in our 40s, we naturally start losing muscle mass through a process called sarcopenia. After 60, this process accelerates unless we actively work to prevent it. Simultaneously, our bodies become less efficient at processing protein, meaning we actually need more protein as we age, not less, precisely when many of us are consuming less. This protein gap doesn't just affect how strong we feel. Adequate protein is essential for immune function, wound healing, maintaining bone density, and even cognitive health. Those seemingly minor infections that now take longer to resolve, the cut that heals more slowly than it used to, the concerning loss of strength or balance, all might be connected to insufficient protein. Martha, an active 71-year-old who had always maintained a healthy weight, couldn't understand why she was becoming increasingly frail despite regular walking. "I was eating what I thought was a perfect diet. Lots of fruits and vegetables, whole grains, very little processed food," she explained. "I didn't realize my perfect diet was critically low in protein. After increasing her protein intake to appropriate levels for her age and adding simple strength training, Martha regained strength she thought was permanently lost. "My balance is better. I can carry my groceries easily again, and I haven't had a cold in months," she reported. How would your daily life change if you maintained more of your muscle strength and function? What activities might remain accessible to you longer if you address this often overlooked nutritional need? The solution is straightforward but requires attention. Research suggests that adults over 60 need approximately 1.0 to 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight daily, significantly more than the 0.8 grams recommended for younger adults. For a 150-pound person, that's about 70-80 grams of protein daily, ideally distributed throughout the day rather than consumed in one large serving. High-quality protein sources include lean meats, fish, eggs, dairy products, legumes, and nuts. Many find that adding a protein-rich component to each meal and snack helps reach this goal. Greek yogurt with breakfast, tuna, or chicken on a lunch salad, and a palm-sized portion of protein with dinner creates a solid foundation. For those with diminished appetite or difficulty preparing meals, high-quality protein supplements can help bridge the gap. Look for options without excessive sugar or artificial ingredients, and consider consulting with a registered dietitian who specializes in nutrition for older adults to create a sustainable plan. What's your protein intake like currently? Could increasing it help address health concerns you've attributed simply to aging? As we reflect on these two additional mistakes, medication, mismanagement, and inadequate protein intake, consider which might be affecting your own health journey: the subtle decline in strength, the mysterious new symptoms, the increasing frailty that seems inevitable. These might actually be connected to specific patterns that can be identified and corrected. What's particularly empowering about addressing these common mistakes is that the solutions don't require expensive interventions or complicated medical procedures. Often, simple awareness and consistent small changes create profound improvements in how we experience this chapter of life. As we continue our journey of understanding these common health mistakes, you might be recognizing patterns in your own life, patterns that once seemed like inevitable parts of aging, but now reveal themselves as opportunities for a positive change. The awareness you're gaining today could be the catalyst for transformations you never thought possible at this stage of life. Let's explore our final two common mistakes that often fly under the radar, yet significantly impact how we experience our golden years. Mistake 5. Neglecting strength training. Have you found yourself focusing primarily on walking or other gentle cardio exercises, believing that's the safest and most appropriate activity after 60? Or perhaps you've stepped back from physical exercise altogether, concerned about injury, or simply feeling it's too late to make a difference. This common misconception leads to one of the most impactful mistakes we make: neglecting the critical importance of strength training as we age. Here's what happens within our bodies. Without regular resistance exercise, we typically lose 3 to 5% of our muscle mass each decade after 30, with the rate accelerating after 60. This loss doesn't just affect how we look, it fundamentally impacts our mobility, independence, metabolism, and even our cognitive health. What many don't realize is that this muscle loss isn't inevitable. Studies consistently show that adults in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s can build significant muscle strength through appropriate resistance training. Even more surprising, research indicates that strength training may be more important than cardio exercise for longevity and quality of life as we age. Consider James, a 76-year-old who had always prided himself on taking daily walks, but found himself increasingly worried about falls after a few close calls. Getting up from low chairs? "I thought my balance problems were just part of getting older," he told me. The idea of lifting weights at my age seemed ridiculous. Reluctantly, he began a simple strength program, twice weekly at his daughter's urging. Within 2 months, the changes were remarkable. Not only can I get up from any chair without using my hands, but I'm sleeping better, my chronic back pain has diminished, and my doctor reduced my blood pressure medication. How might your daily activities change if you maintained more muscle strength? What freedoms and independence might you preserve by addressing this often overlooked aspect of fitness? The solution doesn't require heavy weightlifting or gym memberships. Effective strength training can begin with simple bodyweight exercises like modified squats, rising from a chair without using your hands, wall push-ups, and gentle resistance work using household items or light dumbbells. The key is consistency and gradual progression. Many find that working with a physical therapist or trainer who specializes in exercise for older adults is invaluable for getting started safely. Others enjoy the social aspects of community classes designed specifically for seniors. What's most important is beginning at your current ability level and progressively challenging your muscles. For those concerned about joint pain or previous injuries, water-based strength exercises provide excellent resistance while minimizing impact. The buoyancy of water supports your body while still allowing you to build muscle effectively. What small step could you take this week to incorporate some form of strength training into your routine? How might this investment in your muscle health pay dividends in your daily independence? Mistake 6. Underestimating the health impact of social connection. When we think about health, we naturally focus on physical factors: what we eat, how we move, the medications we take. But there's another dimension that profoundly affects our well-being after 60, one that research increasingly shows may be as important as not smoking or maintaining a healthy weight: meaningful social connection. As life circumstances change, retirement, friends moving away, loss of loved ones, perhaps decreased mobility, many of us experience a gradual diminishment in our social circles. What makes this particularly concerning is that the health consequences of social isolation are both serious and wide-ranging, yet often completely overlooked in discussions about healthy aging. Research reveals that chronic loneliness increases inflammation, compromises immune function, elevates stress hormones, disrupts sleep quality, accelerates cognitive decline, and significantly increases the risk of conditions from heart disease to depression. One landmark study even found that lack of social connection heightens health risks as much as smoking 15 cigarettes daily. Elizabeth, a 73-year-old widow, had always considered herself an introvert and didn't think much about the gradual reduction in her social interactions after her husband passed away. "I've always been independent and thought I was fine on my own," she explained. As minor health issues multiplied, her doctor suggested the surprising idea that increasing her social connections might help. Initially skeptical, Elizabeth joined a weekly book club at her local library. "The difference in how I feel is remarkable," she shared. "Not only am I sleeping better and feeling more positive, but my persistent digestive problems have improved dramatically. Who would have thought conversation could be as effective as medication?" How might your physical health, not just your emotional well-being, benefit from more meaningful connection? What aspects of your health that you've attributed to aging might actually be responding to social factors? The solution doesn't necessarily mean becoming more extroverted or building a large social circle. Quality of connection often matters more than quantity. Regular, meaningful interaction with even a small number of people can provide significant health benefits. Consider what types of connection feel most nourishing to you. For some, volunteer work provides purpose alongside community. Others find that regular video calls with family, even if geographically distant, provide essential connection. Taking a class, joining a faith community, or finding a group centered around a hobby you enjoy can create natural opportunities for meaningful interaction. For those with mobility challenges, technology offers new possibilities for connection. Online communities for seniors, virtual classes, and social media groups focused on specific interests can provide valuable interaction without leaving home. What one step could you take this week to strengthen your social connections? How might prioritizing this aspect of health create positive ripple effects throughout your physical well-being. As we reflect on all 6 of these common mistakes: chronic dehydration, overlooking gut health, mismanaging medications, inadequate protein intake, neglecting strength training, and underestimating social connection, a pattern emerges. So many aspects of health that we attribute to just getting older are actually connected to specific factors within our control. I think about Gloria, a remarkable 84-year-old who attended one of my workshops 5 years ago. At 79, she was using a walker, taking multiple medications for various chronic conditions, and had been told by her doctor that her declining health was just part of aging. After systematically addressing each of the mistakes we've discussed, the transformation was extraordinary. Today, she walks unassisted, has reduced her medications by half, travels independently, and often remarks that she feels better at 84 than she did at 70. Gloria's experience isn't unusual. Time and again, I've witnessed remarkable improvements when people identify and address these common mistakes. The body has an astonishing capacity to heal and strengthen, even after decades of suboptimal patterns. It's never too late to make changes that significantly improve your quality of life. As we conclude our time together, I invite you to reflect on which of these common mistakes resonated most strongly with you. Perhaps you recognized one or more patterns in your own life, patterns that might be affecting your energy, your mobility, your cognitive clarity, or your overall sense of well-being. Remember that addressing these issues doesn't require dramatic overhauls of your lifestyle. Small, consistent changes often create the most sustainable improvements. Perhaps you'll begin by increasing your water intake, adding a protein-rich food to each meal, scheduling a medication review, or reaching out to reconnect with an old friend. Each small step creates momentum toward better health. I'd love to hear which of these common mistakes surprised you the most, or which you plan to address first. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Your insights might be exactly what another viewer needs to hear. Your experience at this stage of life is valuable not just to you, but to our entire community of viewers navigating similar journeys. If you found value in today's discussion, please consider supporting this channel by hitting the like button and subscribing. These simple actions help more people find this information who might benefit from it. When you subscribe, you'll be notified about future videos exploring other aspects of vibrant, healthy aging. As you move forward from our conversation today, I hope you carry with you this essential truth. Aging is inevitable, but how we age is influenced by countless choices within our control. The wisdom you've gained through your life journey, combined with the knowledge you're gathering now, creates a powerful foundation for your healthiest years ahead. You deserve to feel your best in this chapter of life. By recognizing and addressing these common mistakes, you're not just adding years to your life, you're adding life to your years. And that, my friend, is a gift both to yourself and to everyone who treasures your presence in their lives. I look forward to continuing this journey together in future videos. Until then, here's to your health, your vitality, and all the wonderful possibilities that await when you approach aging with knowledge and intention.